Basically, I'm a single guy who lived in Palmer's Green. I took the decision that I wanted to move, and I decided I wanted to move to Grange Park, and I decided to put the house up for sale. The area that I lived in was partially dominated by Anthony Pepe, and I'd heard a lot of good things about them. Namely, my neighbour 2 doors down, who put his house up for sale, and he told me that the service was absolutely fantastic. So I contacted the guys there. They valued the property, and they told me that there's a good market in that particular area because Oakthorpe Primary School, which is down the road, it has very good ratings, and a lot of young families want to move into the area to get them into that school. So I thought, fine, put the house up for sale. They immediately got me a couple of offers. But by that point, I was starting to reconsider in terms of I reassessed my finances, and my financial advisor advised me that I could potentially buy without having to sell. So I contacted the guys at Anthony Pepe and advised them that I changed my strategy in terms of how I really want to move. And my preference was to rent the property, and they were absolutely fine with this. And they immediately put me through to their rental department, and the young lady there contacted me. And she advised me that, for example, there's a very good rental market in the property for exactly the same reasons. She essentially knew exactly what the property would go for, the reasons people would rent there, and the types of people who would want to rent in that particular area, which was absolutely fine. So my initial view of them was fantastic service, very personable, very attentive, had great knowledge of the area, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant. But for me, what was brilliant about Anthony Pepe was the service I received post me renting the property through them. Because from that point onwards, my rent has always been paid on time, so it comes straight into my bank account, and I get an emailed statement, so I know exactly what's going on with the property. There have been issues historically in terms of things going wrong with the property, and that's to be expected. But they're very good in terms of sending me an estimate, letting me know exactly what work needs to be doing, and giving me the option of getting a further estimate independently and arranging the work myself. And I know for a fact that they don't load onto the estimate, so I think that's really, really honest of them. And that aspect of it I found really, really good. On top of that, they visit the property every 6 months, and they send me a full report of the property, which is really brilliant. And they call me periodically, and they ask me if I'm happy with the service that I've been receiving, and is there any feedback I want to give with regards to the type of service I'm receiving. And I think that's absolutely priceless, and that's continued up to this point. With Anthony Pepe, I actually feel like a valued customer, in terms of I know I probably don't earn them too much money. I have the management service, so I know they probably need a lot of me's to fund what they're trying to deliver. But the service is really personable. They're very transparent in everything they do, and as far as I'm concerned, they're extremely honest. And I think that they haven't adopted the hardcore corporate selling structure that a lot of corporates might do. I think they're trying to create a family atmosphere within an estate agent, which I think is fantastic. I mean, the service is good. I still deal with the same lady that I dealt with when I first rented the property, and that shows it's probably a very good place to work, because the staff have stuck around. They haven't got this huge turnover of staff. They probably reward their quality staff because they know they're they know they're delivering a very good service. So I think I think they've come at it from another angle, in terms of we're like an agent for the community, as opposed to a corporate agent who are out there trying to shark people in terms of giving them incorrect valuations, and having an incorrect ethic. They don't come across as estate agents. They come across as I genuinely feel that they're acting in my best interests. I think honesty, transparency. I mean, I think and knowledge of the area. I think they're probably three very, very important areas in terms of knowledge of the area. Absolutely, they knew exactly why people would want to rent my property. I mean, they knew that from outset. In terms of transparency, everything is in writing, to the nth detail. So I know exactly, what I'm paying for at any given time, and it's all very, very clear. So they're honest, they're transparent, and I think they have integrity, and I think that's very important. I mean, I trust them as agents, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend them. In fact, I do whenever I get the opportunity.